It's like the smoothness, the camera, the calling features, their animations and all that
It all
stuff.
just comes very
It
seamlessly in an atmosphere that it just doesn't feel like something is out here.
Yeah.
Everything is so
I mean-
interlinked and smooth.
Then again, when you come to Android, you'll feel that something is rough or something is not going proper.
How do you
Because
do that?
because I am not a consistent user of an Android. So like I was using Android, then I came to Apple, then again I came to Android and came to Apple because of the memory issues with Apple. I switched to Android for 1 or 2 years. तो कैसे हो आप लोग और welcome back to another vlog. This is not a vlog, but this is a video podcast. और हम लोग आज डिस्कशन करने वाले हैं एंड्रॉयड वर्सेस एप्पल के बारे में. बेस्ड ऑन माय प्रीवियस वीडियो, मैंने जब वीडियो डाला था तो मेरे दोस्त दीपांशु भाई इन्होंने मुझे मैसेज किया था कि let's have a debate on Apple versus Android, which is never ending debate till now. So we're trying to end it, but let's see how it goes. So in this podcast, I'll be your host. Deepanshu will be discussing more about Android, huh?
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna take a stance on Android. Alright guys, first things first, I'm so glad to be here. This is an interesting topic actually. And profession-wise, I teach for a living. Well, we are not going to talk about the boring stuff today. I teach mathematics, finance and all that, But anyways, we're going to talk about who's better, Apple or Android. And coincidentally, as you can see on the sides as well, my man has an Apple laptop here. I'm rocking the Windows, and I'm also I'm a proud Android owner. And there's a story behind it, so I'm gonna unfold it. We're gonna bring up key points which will make you think about if you are confused, like whether you should go for an Apple phone or an Android phone. And hopefully by this end of this podcast, you will be able to make a very wise decision based on the utility, price, budgeting, and all that. So let's get started.
let's do it. How did you get into Android? Tell me.
That's a good question. All right. So my first phone was after my 12th standard, and as soon as I took the admission in the university 5-6 years ago. And coincidentally, I have never changed the company because I'm super loyal to the brand. That's Xiaomi. And this is, I think, my 7th Xiaomi phone. I'm just gonna flex it. And this is the latest flagship phone, Mi 12 Pro, which I'm gonna be using as a defense case here, just to absolutely obliterate my counterparty, which is so well equipped with Apple. He has Apple MacBook and Apple Watch, and we are also ironically recording with an Apple iPhone 12
Pro Max. Yeah.
and his favorite food is apple too. So it turns out I'm gonna be going heavy on Android. So that's how it started. It was my first phone, Breyon, and since then I've never looked back. Although I really had a confusion recently when I was about to get a new phone for myself. Although I just don't want to stretch this story too far ahead, but although my phone cost almost the same as an Apple, it's like 900 euros, and I could get a base model iPhone Pro, iPhone Max, but I still went with the Android, and we're gonna discuss why.
Okay.
So this is how I got into Android. And let me just ask you one question real quick. How come you got into Apple? My father's rich.
not that, but I can say like the features in Apple, if you see, there are like a lot of features that could keep you safe, private, like you could have some privacy, and there are no bugs, there are no lags. You can see, because I've been a user for Android. I was using Android from, I can say, like when I was in 10th standard. And when I think so, there was this Xperia phone. So
Sony Xperia.
Sony Xperia, right? And there I was using that. And then later, my uncle got me the iPhone 5S, and that was the latest one that time. So when I used Apple for the first time, it takes time for you to get into Apple ecosystem and Apple's first thing you'll think that this how to use this thing, how to use different apps, and because from getting to Android into Apple, it's a bit difficult.
That's right, Breyon. That's like there is always a learning curve for Apple. And Android is basically like you take it up and you just like fit it around it and boom, you're a proud Android user. But to get to Apple, You need some notes, my friends. Yeah, so that's how you got into Apple.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So now we both do have our stances on our beloved devices
Yeah.
and technology. Well, the most important part for me is freedom.
Mhm.
I'm a patriot. My country is free, and I always value freedom over anything. And
Yeah.
freedom comes with a cost. But the good thing is, my freedom cost a little bit less than the Apple.
Mhm.
It turns out, right, you have the security reasons. The
Yeah.
problem if you are running a country, I totally understand that. You do have no bugs. Well, I can go around with some bugs if it cuts like quite a lot of money in my budget, and plus I'm getting so many other things.
Mhm.
Customizability, I would say fast charging, I would say the pro cameras. Well, that's a little bit of a debatable issue when we are comparing Apple to Android.
Mhm.
But turns out there are few things which just comes to my mind as a highlight that probably I should stick with the Android.
Mhm.
Yeah. Not really sure if it explained my question, but we're gonna go ahead with that.
As you said, security. The main thing is a person has to be secure with his phone, because nowadays there are hacks and there are a lot of things happening with the phones. Your phone can be hacked, and just your data can be just being sold anywhere. So it's like that, and that somewhere clicks that Androids are not much secure, because anyone can enter into an Android phone. Yeah. Yeah, there could be some possibilities that you can just keep it safe.
I would just like to. Are
Yeah.
you slut shaming my Android phone?
No.
Because clearly I see that anybody can enter the Android phone.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't sound really good.
No. But,
okay.
Yeah, but people can hack your phone if you're a big personality or something like that. But
Right.
I know you are not. But
Eventually,
you will
one
be.
day.
You will be. Yeah, you will be one day. But yeah, anything can happen with an Android. Yeah, I can say that.
Security
and
issues.
yeah, and in iPhone, you get iPhone or Apple products, you get more of security, privacy, and if we go towards the cameras, maybe that we are going later. But yeah, but if you compare the cameras, they are more better right now. So yeah.
Turns out, coming to the cameras, guys, I love this topic, right? So all of you must have heard about the Android flagship Galaxy S22 Ultra Plus, whatever that is, right? And turns out, I would agree on a point, because I'm ready to change my belief if enough evidence is provided. That's the definition of being smart. And sure, I would agree that Apple does have a reliable set of cameras, and reliable means suppose if I go to a party, and then from my Android, I need to take a picture, like one from portrait, one from normal, just to find out like which is going to be the best one. But from the Apple, you can just take 2 pictures and you'll be like, okay, all the pictures are going to be the same. So there is a reliability factor in Apple. I would give you that. But turns out, let's just talk about my phone. Again, I'm not flexing. This is a 50 megapixel camera on the main sensor, and this is a wide angle 50 megapixel as well, and this is the telephoto lens 50 megapixel as well. So I'm packing 150 megapixels, but the numbers really don't mean anything if your optimization with the camera is not great.
Yeah.
So I do really get very satisfactory pictures. Of course, I'm not an Instagram model, so I'm not really posting a lot, although I sometimes do as a personal blog kind of thing. But it does really serve me really well. Or of course, iPhone 12. Another issue that I have with iPhone is like there is not much change when it comes to the previous generations of it. Let's, for example, take iPhone 11, right?
Yeah.
And then it comes to iPhone 12. Of course, it was better. It's like even if you want to switch from Apple iPhone 11 to Apple iPhone 12, even if you just got this new phone, maybe your battery charge is faster, the performance is a little bit better, the light is in the cameras is good. But you will not feel like, all right, I'm so excited to try this 200 megapixel moon lens, or there is this not, although it might not be a problem for some people because they're not really tech geeks like me. But on the other hand, Apple does have a reliable set of cameras. I'd give you that. The optimization of the images and the software optimization in the Apple is just way beyond Android. Another thing which I read about recently is, it's like when you are using Apple, the developers don't really have to optimize every Apple phone for, let's say, they don't really have to optimize for, because there are only a very limited set of Apple phones. So it's customized it's optimized for Instagram, YouTube, and then you say even on TikTok, even Apple iPhone X will beat my Mi 12 Pro when it comes to directly taking videos from the Instagram. So it is the reason, because there are hundreds, if not thousands, of Android phones in the market right now, and it's very hard for the developers to develop and optimize the Instagram for each of them. So maybe that's the part where it's lacking, and it really used to bother me because sometimes you check out somebody's Instagram and they have this crappy video, doesn't matter what kind of phone do they have, and it gives off the impression that, oh man, just like get an iPhone. And it does happen like that, but in the latest, we are okay. One more thing to compare here is we are only gonna compare the flagship's phone with the Apple. I'm not talking about $100 Gioni XS Pro. We are not really gonna talk about that because that's an unfair comparison, right? And because this phone almost cost 800 to 900 euros, and iPhone 12 almost 1,000 euros. So from a price point of view, I think it's a fair comparison, so we're just gonna talk about that. I've been talking for too long. I think you should take over.
No. I think so. It should be more of, because I don't have much knowledge of Android now, because I had, but I was not so deep into Android that you are. Like, because you are more into Android fan and you're like too much, and I'm like into Apple, but not that much. But I am, I know a lot of features. I was also going to buy 14 Pro, but as I made the last video, you had seen it, so it didn't have much things to be changed.
Right, like so, spending and that money could be served in a better utility. When you have already Apple 12 Pro Max, and it's a great phone actually. It still rocks the market.
It does.
And the great thing about Apple is like the resale value is still rock solid. And that's kind of could be a bad point as well if you want to buy an Apple, because the older phones, they're still as expensive. But the newer ones, they are even more expensive. But here's the point where the difference comes. When it comes to the customizability of iPhone, right? Some people don't really care about how their wallpaper looks like. How do they have like floating gadgets, or like my grandpa wouldn't even really care as long as it's dialing the phone. But if you want something reliable, just not to fidget around with too much, something very compact, value packed, sure. Apple is a great product, but if you are on the other side of the spectrum where you want customizability, because first of all, a lot of apps in Apple are paid. Like there is no way around it. You cannot jailbreak it. You cannot just root your phone, because then you'll be you will be compromising your security issues right there. And it turns out in Android there are some third-party apps. Of course, it comes with the risk of being not insecure, but the security risk. It does come with that, but. For example, I can use YouTube Premium for free. I never really have to pay for it. I have a modern version of Instagram. I have super wallpapers. I have this, that, and other. So when it comes to software, I think somewhere Android is still lagging, but the software optimization of Apple is way beyond Android because of specifically R&D department and all this kind of stuff. The iPhone 14 Max is a A15 bionic chip. It's same as iPhone 13.
Correct.
Right? And iPhone Pro Max gives you a A16
bionic chip.
Which absolutely dusts any Android phone in the market right now. It's so fast. It's just mind-bogglingly fast. But you pay mind-boggling sum for that as well. Like $1,400 if you go for a 1 TB version. You should put your home on mortgage, and that's how it works.
Actually.
So specifically, what do you think about Apple's random access memory, RAM? Because I think there is a lot of issues going around. Okay, so my phone has like 17 GB of RAM or 25 GB of RAM, this, that, and other. But some Apple phones do really have 6 GB of RAM. And so what's your take on that?
I think so, unless it works for me, like it's too smooth. So
for your day-to-day use, that's the word.
And I think so, about the RAM, nobody cares about it, I think so, in Apple. But because people don't look about that much. But like even when I was using Android, I used to check for the RAM, and I used to check if it's a Snapdragon 817 or 870. I don't know what is going on right now. But
it's 8 Gen 1.
8 Gen 1. This is something different now.
It's like the next version of 865 plus. And we have switched to 8 Gen 1, and then the next one will be 8 Gen 1 plus.
Because I had this MI Poco. I used it for like 1 or 2 years, and because the thing was that, actually, again, downside of Apple, because I had an iPhone 5S and I used it almost for 4 years, and then it was like slower, because Apple sometimes does that.
It's infamous for that kind of
thing. If you have seen Joe Rogan podcast, you will see with MKBHD, They were talking about that, and they actually do it.
They actually do it.
They
Oh.
actually do it. They update the software with something like which will drain your battery faster,
Yeah,
and
it will
you can't
make your
use the
phone like
previous
that.
phone, and you are supposed to buy a new phone,
Yeah.
new iPhone.
It's a sneaky little dirty
So-
tip from the Apple, but they were sued for it.
Yeah,
Not that it's gonna put a dent in their market
that
capitalization,
doesn't
anyways.
matter to them,
but-
because it's
but
a
they
$3
did so.
billion company. Sorry, trillion.
3 trillion. It's a T.
Trillion. Yeah, $1 trillion company.
The same thing happened with the. I also tell this my students that there was a reporter who wrote Donald Trump's name as a millionaire, and he said it's a billionaire with a B. So he sued him for a couple million.
Oh,
So, yeah. So it's Apple with a T.
yeah.
Yeah. But turns out when we're talking about MI, it came out 7 or 10, maybe 10 years ago. MI1 was the first phone. They sold like $39 million sales for 1 year, and now it's like almost $200. So turns out MI is the second biggest company in the market for mobile phones after Apple. It crossed the Samsung as well, which is crazy
Yeah.
because Samsung is it's a beast in a way.
Yeah,
They
actually.
produce weapons for fun.
Yeah, because long time back I was using Samsung, and there was this problem with the Grand that they launched.
Yeah,
you know,
Samsung
and
Grand,
it was
20,000 rupees.
lagging always. So there were a lot of complaints of that Grand thing.
Yeah.
And then from my mind it was like, oh man, Samsung is gone now. It's
Yeah.
dead. So
Samsung
so
was
I-
really beaten by all these
Yeah.
other companies because they just didn't go with the innovation, the technology. Same thing happened with the Microsoft.
Yeah.
Nokia specifically, because Microsoft
Nokia.
also Nokia didn't adopt Android, so they got. Well, turns out I would love to show you guys something. We also have our OG phone. If you can see this, this is Nokia. This is for sale. I'm selling it for $700. If somebody is interested, just let me know.
This is a vintage phone.
Yeah, this is vintage phone. George Bush used it back in the days. So coming back to the topic, Nokia didn't go along with Android, so they were eradicated from the market.
Yeah.
Number two,
Yeah.
Microsoft tried to launch their phone Windows. Now, what kind of creep would look good?
I know this is a common
Yeah,
thing.
it was such a disaster to hold that Windows phone in your hand and use of Windows. Yeah, are you kidding me? Samsung did a good thing. They adopted Android very well, and Android is the byproduct of Google, and Apple is the byproduct of Mr. Steve Jobs, late Steve Jobs. Love that guy, but didn't love him enough to buy an iPhone anyways.
No, but
Alright.
when back then when he was there, like he used to have some good ideas about
Oh yeah,
about
great.
Apple phones.
So the most fascinating part of the tech, which blows my mind, which I see in the dreams as well, is implants, head implants. So okay, I'm talking woo goo gaga futuristic stuff, but the moment you put a chip in your head, and what do we have to do? Let me just give you a basic anecdote about what's going on. So transfer of the information. We need to, if you want to find what's the most expensive car right now in the world, you will type Bugatti Veyron da da da.
Correct.
And then it turns out we need to read it from the phone, and then your mind will process the information, and boom, now you have some piece of information. Wearables, what they do is you can just tap the watch, you can see the time, you can talk, it's very faster. But the issue is to reduce and to increase the bandwidth of the transfer of the information from your gadget to your head, because already on the internet there is everything you could possibly want.
Correct.
All the information, if you want to calculate what is 19 multiplied by 19 and everything, it's just so fast. So the moment we have a chip, Elon Musk is already developing it.
What is it called?
It's a Neuralink.
Neuralink.
It's a Neuralink.
Yeah,
If you have a Neuralink in your head, so your brain will be basically connected to internet. Now, it does sound like a very science fiction thing, but the things we are using today are not less than science fiction. If you would have shown this thing in in 1800s, it's not less than a magic. So
Yeah.
that is coming. So that's the part of the tech which just absolutely blows my mind, and I'm really, really excited to be a test. I would take that back. I don't want to be a test subject in Neuralink, but when it's successful, I'm gonna be the first one to
if
get
this,
it downloaded.
If this podcast goes viral, Elon Musk, please.
Elon Musk, hire me.
Please.
Please.
He's
It's
ready
me.
for the first trial.
Yeah. Maybe fourth or fifth one. But it does give you an edge over so many things, Brian, if you think about it.
It does.
Like if I ask you, okay, when was Mother Teresa born? Yeah, and you'll be like,
And-
all right, and you just thought about it. It's on the internet. directly, and the answer is there.
So you can easily go to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can win a million.
But I hope that nobody else sees it, because if they see this guy with the Neuralink, probably it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
All right. What kind of videos do you watch on YouTube? Be honest.
Videos.
Don't try to hide anything from your subscribers.
On YouTube, I mostly watch vlogs and travel videos because I like to travel too. And
He is big on traveling.
yeah, I like to travel more. So yeah, recently, there will be a short trip. I'm going to India soon. So
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
going to be putting out some vlogs as well. So
Yeah.
make sure you're checking them out as well.
Yeah, right. And I think so. Yeah, I watch tech videos, not much, but I'm fascinated about a vlogger that is Casey Neistat, and also some of our Indian vloggers. From Pakistan, that is Irfan Junejo. I follow these guys, and also there is one more guy from India now. He studies in Australia actually.
Okay.
So I don't remember his name, but he's a good vlogger. I also had a live Instagram chat with him.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, once on the call. He just accepted my call, and it was amazing for me. So yeah, somewhere I watch these type of videos, and that's it. Maybe music.
Pretty good.
Sometimes. Yeah. What about you?
When it comes to tech videos, I am generally fascinated.
Yeah, you are
As
a
I told you.
tech geek, so you always watch tech videos.
I like to watch weird stuff, the biggest microphone, the smallest chair, the best speakers and the phones and chargers, because this is like one of my favorite pastimes. I don't really watch any other things except for a podcast. I do watch them. One of my favorites is Joe Rogan, Andrew Huberman.
What do you think? What is the most unusual video that you have watched about tech?
What the most
Apart from
unusual-
Neuralink?
Apart from the Neuralink. Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's a good question.
Maybe it's anything that
Oh,
comes
yeah.
to your mind. Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out through this pile of tech videos
Hope
that I
you
have
had
stored
a
in my head.
Neuralink. You
Ah.
can just
I'm just circling
Tell
through that
them
Neuralink. The most fascinating video about the tech that I have watched is the one which I watched recently. I mean, of course, guys, there's gonna be a lot of videos that I cannot just come up with the moment,
right.
but I was watching like the most cheap phone to the most expensive phone. It was the most expensive one was 250,000, designed by Caviar, covered in glow gold and all that kind of stuff. So nothing gets better than, if you buy the flagship phones of Samsung, MI, Apple, Huawei, whatever there is, because every company does have an edge to it. But strictly talking about Apple or Android, what made you choose Android over Apple, or vice versa, Apple over Android? Just give me your top 3 points,
Okay.
non-negotiable.
Somewhere when you use Apple, there is a sort of premiumness when you feel that premium for, because I know you paid that much money, you will feel premium, but the thing is that somewhere you feel the vibe with the phone.
Yeah.
Like how can I explain it? It's like the smoothness, the camera, the calling features, their animations and all that
It all
stuff.
just comes very
It
seamlessly in an atmosphere that it just doesn't feel like something is out here.
Yeah.
Everything is so
I mean-
interlinked and smooth.
Yeah, I mean, Android, then again, when you come to Android, you'll feel that something is rough or something is not going proper.
I'd agree with that.
Because I am not a consistent user of an Android. So, like, I was using Android, then I came to Apple, then again I came to Android and came to Apple. Because of the memory issues with Apple, I switched to Android for 1 or 2 years. And then I bought this phone, which I'm recording now in. So yeah, it's better for me until now, because I had planned when I bought this phone, I planned that I will use it for at least 2 years max.
Right.
So it's been 2 years now.
It's 2 years,
Yeah,
so
but
this
maybe
phone is
I'll
about to
be
go.
waiting for the next iPhone.
Yeah. The moment he buys it, he promises to give away this iPhone 12 Pro Max. So
Yeah, but again, coming back to the question, I think so somewhere the camera, because I'm a content creator, I do videos, and so I feel somewhere the camera helps me out with that.
yeah.
And somewhere the money is worth if you're doing something with that thing.
Right.
Correct? Because I bought this phone and that time I didn't think of doing it. But then something came into my mind. People are shooting with iPhone. Let's shoot. People are also shooting with normal phones. But the quality with this at that time, because it was the best phone which came after iPhone 10
Yes.
and 11. it was the best phone until now. I think so. It's until now because if you've seen 13 and 14, they have added cinematic mode. Yeah. So that's the only thing they added, and the processor. That's it. But this works fine. It's the best thing. I use the phone. I also shoot with it. Right now, I'm shooting it. You guys can tell it how the video quality is. So
it's great. We are not here to settle the debate which one is better, because the beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
But we are here to settle the debate which one is best for you.
Yeah.
According to your money, according to your what do you want from a phone? Like, do you want performance or do you want optimization? Although Android has iPhone has 6 gigabytes of RAM, but the RAM optimization is so good that it beats over 8 to 12 gigabytes of RAM. For example, my phone here has 12 gigabytes of RAM plus 3 more in a case of I don't know how does it actually works, but what RAM does it's a random access memory. So whenever you put something in the background, how quickly the phone is able to, or the operating system is able to reach for the recently closed app. So the larger the memory, the more apps it could reach. It doesn't necessarily make your phone faster in any way, because it's a misconception that people have. If you have 18 gigabytes of RAM, your phone is going to perform faster. No, it's going to not, because it all depends on the processing power of the phone. And turns out, if you have a good processor, even you can pretty much rock the phone in 6 gigabytes of RAM. And having more than 6 gigabytes of RAM it's not really a good idea. So in that way, Apple absolutely is doing a great job, but on the other hand, you get 12 gigabytes of RAM on the Android. So one more feature that I would like to discuss about with you, Breyon, is the screen. The brightness or the display, let's say. Now, in the case of iPhone, I think you're a very well versed user of iPhone, and you know the screen is just magnificent. XDR Retina display, 400 and maybe 555 pixel density, and it's just fascinating. But turns out on the Android, as well as some people might have a misconception, this is an OLED curved screen with more resolution than an iPhone, and a little bit more pixel density too. And it turns out it gives me a great, it has like 1 billion colors. It can show 1 billion colors. On the other hand, iPhone can only show 16 million. Please do not quote me on that, because I'm not really sure. But that's the difference that I found. So in terms of displays, guys, both Android and flagship Android and Apple, they're gonna serve you almost the same. Now it depends on you. Would you like to go with a much longer curved display, which kind of gives it a premium look, or would you like to go with an Apple, which still gives you this square and rounded display? Some people really say that it's very comfortable for them, and it's your choice to make ultimately. So in the case of screen, it doesn't really make any sense. It's totally up to you. Now, Breyon, let's talk about the battery.
The battery, actually,
from your day-to-day uses, how do you think the battery serves you? Do you need to charge it again? How's the battery health and all that kind of stuff in a regular use?
So the thing is that the first thing is that when I bought this phone, the battery used to work for me complete 24 hours. Okay, and that was the battery capacity. Now I don't know, I don't remember. It's like 4,000 mAh or 4,800 mAh or something like that. So lesser than that, I think so, because it is always lesser than Android
phones,
batteries.
Usually,
Because Android batteries are like 6,000, 5,000 mAh, and they have more battery life. But somewhere I can say that why they put less power in the batteries, because it has more to do, because people shoot videos, do a lot of things. So somewhere I think so they reduce the battery capacity sometimes. But at the start, when you buy the phone, at least 1 to 1.5 years with video recording, with vlogging, I used to do vlogging, the phone works 15 hours. Okay, and without vlogging or something like that, the phone will work 24 hours, and you can charge it next day. So it's like that.
So the battery does last very long on moderate users. If you, of course, if you're gonna play like PUBG 6 hours long, then please do not complain about battery.
It depends on the use.
Exactly. Like how much are you using your processor? How much the phone is getting heated. So it turns out the battery capacity on Apple is very good according to day-to-day usage. You don't really have to worry about it. But Breyon, it raises a very big concern.
It does.
And
Because,
I think you know where I'm going with this.
yeah. Because we have already discussed what happens. Because now, it's been 2 iPhones now.
Yeah.
After this one, 13 and 14. So the battery automatically goes down soon, like 6 to 7 hours.
It does go.
And I can say that's honest answer.
Absolutely.
Because the thing is that I used to record in 4K, 24 FPS, correct. And I used to use the phone until the evening, like from morning to evening. I just charge once and till the evening. But now I do vlogging in 4K, and it's like in 5 to 6 hours. Yeah. But with the vlogging, without the vlogging or normal use, you can use it in 12 months. That's fine.
Got it. Yeah. So like again, it depends on the usage. But where I was going, Breyon, with this, and this is very serious, about the charging speed.
About the charging speed, I can say that it's not that fast than the Androids.
Not even close, I would say.
Not even closer. But how much is your charging speed for this one?
Okay, so my charging speed, it is because one of the fastest charging phones in the market right now. It comes with 120 watt chargers. So if you put it from 0 to 100, it charges in 17 minutes and 50 seconds.
Okay,
that
17 minutes and 50 seconds.
That is just insane. It's like you have to put it on airplane mode, of course. You cannot use it because it just charges it faster. But the charger is like this big. Of course, it's not travel compatible. But man, it charge the phone fast, super fast. It just gives me it just gives me this bad habit sort of. If I ever try to jump on the Apple does comes with a maximum. I'm saying maximum 35 watt charger.
External one. Like if you buy it from out, it's 35 watts. You get of Anchor or something.
Yeah, and how about the stock?
The original one is 25 watts.
25 watts.
Yeah, 20 or 25 watts.
Yes, almost that way. So guys. Yeah, you can see the difference right there. So this is 120 watt charger, and that is 20 watt charger, which we are talking about the stock. So it doesn't support high speed charging yet, which was one of my main concerns about buying iPhone 14, because everything which is in iPhone 14 except for the dynamic display, dynamic island, I don't really care about that much. It's a very good improvisation. Good job, Apple. But turns out in the case of batteries, it's 4700 mAh. Would you say it lasts? For me, it's still a smaller battery comparing to the size of the phone, which is pretty big. But turns out it doesn't really make sense. The faster you can charge the phone, and you can just forget about it. If I charge this in the morning, it will last until the evening if I put it on the power saving mode, because of course it has a big processor and the screen and all, so it takes a lot of battery out of it. Correct. So that's one comparison where Apple clearly gets a step back compared to the Android, the charging speed and the batteries.
What do you think? How long will the battery last? Again, not in that sense, but battery life, the health of the battery. If you're charging it fast every time. I mean, I had this question in my mind like from a long time, like because
if it charges
fast
faster,
charger,
it will kill the battery
life. OnePlus,
exactly.
Yeah, also because OnePlus has it, and I had heard this that it degrades the battery
faster
health. Yeah,
got it.
So what do you think about this?
I actually do have facts on this. It comes with 800 charge cycles, up to 80% of its battery life. So it can go through 800 charge cycles. That is, if we consider 365 days, it's the 2.5 years, and then the battery will be still operable at 80% of its capability. So I think that is good enough for me. If I can go with this phone for 3 years, I think I will get my money back anyways, because then the technology will be old again and I will have a new phone. Correct. So that kind of makes sense. And if it doesn't, and if I do not break it, probably I'm gonna get a battery change, and so that's pretty much all about it.
Okay,
so that's how I can take care of that problem.
Okay, so so now you can decide until that, like you want to buy for battery performance. If you want, you can
fast charging, battery performance. Android's unfortunately takes the lead, and comparison between cameras, we already did that. If you want a very reliable set of cameras, sure, go ahead with it. But if you want super, for example, it has vlogging mode, it has super moon mode, it has a dual camera video mode, probably Apple does it too.
No, Apple doesn't have it.
Okay, and there are so many other things. It has 4K recording, 8K recording at 24 FPS.
8K recording?
I'm not joking with you. I was surprised too. Like this camera is like.
And how much did you buy this phone for?
I bought it in India. It's like cheaper. So it costed me around 4,000 zlotys in India.
Okay.
But in Poland, it's 5,200 zlotys.
Mhm.
And if you're talking about dollars, you can get it for $900 to $1,000 between, because it's like 250.
$900,000.
Yeah.
Same as iPhone. Because
Yes,
we
so-
have iPhone is for $1,100, the max one, and $800 to $900 is for
Yes.
the normal ones. So
Yeah. Because also
Yeah.
this is like the flagship phone, so that turns out.
Yeah.
Also, it has wireless charging and reverse wireless charging. So if your phone is charging, it can reversely wireless charge it. Not that I'm gonna use it anytime soon, but probably in the future.
okay.
My friend will start to like Android anyways, because one day I'm gonna help him.
Let's see.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so let's move to another question. Okay, so we have this like, what do you think about the privacy in
Privacy in Android. All right, guys, this is the soft point. Well, if you are not ridiculously stupid to download third-party malware apps, I think you will be fine. This is my personal experience. Never had a privacy breach, and my Android, just like my Google, it informs me before downloading any third-party application that, dude, you're putting yourself at risk. So tomorrow if something happens, don't blame Android. So what am I doing? I'm taking the personal responsibility. I'm weighing the risk to rewards, and then I just go along with it. But there is a catch. Everything is good until something happens.
Yeah.
And it only takes one time. So if that time happens, and if it bothers me, boys, I'm coming to the Apple side. But if it doesn't, so far so good. I'm gonna stick to Android, because it just, I just vibe with it. Another thing is like the sound. And now I'm not gonna argue about the sound. Apple does offer the best sound in the market. Sure, it does. But it also comes with the Harman Kardon double-tuned speakers. Again, not only a marketing gimmick, but it does really sound good. You can play, when you're watching the movie, it's a very, very dynamic experience. And it also supports
so maybe
digital Dolby.
It's the same like iPhone, because when you watch a movie like this,
Yeah.
both speakers work.
Yeah.
So
It's
you
like
get
dual
a
speaker.
spatial thing.
Exactly.
Like,
The sound just
surrounds
grabs you. It's a
Yeah.
different kind of experience. You will
Yeah.
not get it in the cheap Android phones. Forget about it. We are only talking about the
higher end phones.
Higher end phones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Water resistant.
Water resistance, yeah, because iPhone can go up to, I don't remember now how much.
Quite a lot, like-
quite a lot. Not quite a lot.
10
but I think
meters?
so 10 meters, yeah.
Yeah, 10 meters.
Yeah, 10 meters.
Right, guys. That raises a question. How many of you have already been 10 meters down in water? The answer would be maybe 1 in 100,000. So don't really worry about it. As long as it comes with an IP rating, you'll be fine. Unfortunately, though, my phone doesn't have an iPhone IP rating. But I do not really fidget around it too much. But Samsung's and so many other phones, they do come with an IP rating. So it depends on what kind of model you are getting.
Yeah.
And then just check about the water. But mine doesn't, so just don't throw water on me. Please.
Okay,
And-
so
Comes with the final and the strongest point about the Android or the Apple, I
Yeah.
would say. I would have gone for the Apple. Breyon, I'm just being ridiculously honest. I had this in
Yeah.
mind. As soon as iPhone 14 drops, I am just going for it, because because of my previous phone, I'm like, man. Plus, let's agree, iPhone does have this social value. Like, if you have an iPhone, people will be like, okay, good shit.
yeah.
Not that I really care about it. I don't really need a phone to make people think how they think about me. It's out of the question.
Obviously.
If a phone can determine my value, then what kind of value do I actually have? Okay, so one of my strong points about buying an Apple was, it looks great and it does hold some kind of socio-economic value. It's a great phone. No worries. I was about to buy it, but the moment, because see, if I could afford a MacBook, an Apple Watch, AirPods, an iPhone 14 Pro Max, I would absolutely never look at Android. Not because I'm just betraying Android, but the biggest selling point in Apple is the ecosystem that they provide. Now, I do have a laptop, which is again Windows, just bought it last year. I do have an Android. Most of the things which I do own are very customizable because of the part of that. So if I was about to buy an iPhone 14, let's say, I would also have to buy a MacBook, again, AirPods, Apple Watch, because that completely gives you an unmatched environment that you can find anywhere else on this earth. No technology company has ever done this better before. So again, if you do hold a MacBook, if you do have this engagement in an Apple ecosystem, sure, please do not buy an Android, because then it will ruin your experience. But if you have like a Windows laptop, or if you do have some other kind of machine that you're working on, if you like customizability, I think you should go with Android, because you can connect it to your monitor, you can give some mods, and it just fascinates me to make the changes about it. With that, so answers our simple question. For the environment, Apple is king.
Yeah.
But for the customizability, for the things that you can tinker around and mess up a little bit, sure, you can Android, because that's like a raw machine that you get, basically a raw machine with a lot of computing power, and you can have fun with it. So yeah, that's the thing.
Like Android has a lot of freedom things. Like
Yes.
you can do a lot of more things than Apple, because Apple is a bit of secure, and you can't.
It's kind of closed ecosystem.
Yeah, it's like a closed ecosystem. So right now I have a MacBook, I have a Apple Watch, I had AirPods, but I lost it, and
I did too.
Yeah, and the phone. So this could be an ecosystem, but I'm not planning to buy any AirPods right now, because they are too expensive.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
So yeah, I think so. That answers my question, and
Great.
as you know, like what can I say about Apple ecosystem? It's like everything what you have of Apple, it's Apple's ecosystem.
You click a picture there, the video is here. Also, you can use the camera as your front cam. That is so amazing.
Yeah. In the watch, watch you can you can see the camera.
Like check this out. This is great. The compatibility between these devices is just it's insane. And
there is one feature I like about this, is like if you want something to copy from here to here, you just copy it there,
and you can paste
it here.
Check it out. Android, you gotta learn from it. Google's working on it. Samsung has its own ecosystem, but I never bought Samsung because I never liked Samsung phone when it comes to ultra high-end phones. Well, I got the same features. I just had to make the best choice for my money, and spending ridiculous amount of money in something that you won't really usefully is a fool's work. So probably you should be using that money to probably invest somewhere. That'd be my
because
suggestion.
sorry to interrupt. Android has a big market, and they have a lot of phones, and that is the reason somewhere Apple is like closed, and you have very limited phones. But those are expensive, so it's on your usage again. If you have a lot of money, you have you want to show off a little, and you have a lot of money, then you buy an iPhone. That's Apple.
If you have plenty of money to burn, well, go with an iPhone. If you meaningfully want to put your money to good use, and if you are good in budgeting, if you want to make smart choices with your money, you can have a look at other things, but not specifically for the purpose of the price. I went with Android. But again, I mentioned some features of fast charging, this camera modules, and the screen, and reverse charging, and quite a lot of features and something new. You always get something new. So again, as I told, it's my 6th or 7th MI phone, and it's been upgrading. And so I'm also used to this MI ecosystem. Not saying that MI is a bad company or whatever. It's great. It's so. I mean, I'm used to MI just like you are used to Apple. That's why I cannot switch to Samsung or like Micromax and all. Like, it's not even there. So I'm just sticking to it until and unless the day comes where I will, if I get it, I will get all of it together. MacBook, this, that, another. Again, there's going to be a learning curve. But we will see, Breyon. One day we can be friends.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe I switch to Android, or you switch to Apple.
Who knows? These technologies meant to complement us. We are not meant to argue on that one. That's why compliment on that. So that's about it. And the final thing,
the price range of these things.
Price. Money runs the world.
Yeah. So as you know, Apple phones and Apple MacBooks and AirPods and all these things are too expensive, as you know.
Like for a daily user,
$1,000, and it's for a normal person, it's not feasible.
Exactly.
So what is your take on this?
All right. So my take on this, like, if you're very well comfortable in wherever you are making money from, legal or illegal, even a cover for an iPhone at the Apple store is gonna cost you how much, Breyon? It's like $50-$60, maybe more, maybe $100, something like that. You know, so it's
correct.
of course there will be no compromise in quality. So if you would like to go on that side, if you want to keep something long term, I think you should go for an Apple if you can afford it. But if you are solely buying if you are solely buying an iPhone for the purpose of show off that I'm gonna be looking good, well, it does make you look like a fool when you don't have anything else going with you, and you just hold an iPhone to just flex on people, because people sometimes, that's a good saying, people buy things to show the people they don't even like. So like for my usage, my utility, I go for Android. I will change my mind, maybe the day will tell, but this is at the end of the day, it is just a tech thing to enhance me, but I'm not here to enhance anything. It's just a great addition in my life. I'm really happy with the choices that I made. And also I do have this bias. If something is yours, it looks good, you know.
Yeah.
If you own something, you know, it's yours. So you will always support it. So in that way, again, this podcast was not a debate. It was a very well discussion from an Android lover and an iPhone lover on the other hand. And so when it comes to the price point, if you're going through extreme flagship phones, just like I did, well, then you have to be a little bit of an Android fanboy in order to put that money. I could have also bought the iPhone, but without the ecosystem, I just don't want to take a chance, because it will rather limit me than to enhance me, and this is already enhancing me quite a lot. So that's why, Breyon, I would go with the Android. He almost convinced me there. he almost had me there.
He's almost there.
All right, great.
So I appreciate your interest in Android, bro, because you could have bought, in that much money, you could have bought an iPhone,
Yes,
but
I would.
you did your what you like. So just do what you like, man.
Do what you love
Yeah.
and love what you do.
Android or Apple?
If it's Android or Apple, check the specifications, look at your budget. Because Apple is the phone who everyone can use, but Android does have a phone for everyone.
Yeah.
We could end up with that. So just look at your budget, look at your requirements, and don't be afraid of, if I buy this, because do it or don't do it, you're gonna regret both. Yeah,
Probably.
that's what Nike's elder brother said. So then, ending note, it was amazing to talk to you, Breyon. It was a very well versed topic, and I hope
this was the first time, but let's see. Maybe we can do more, because this guy is multi-talented.
He's saying really good words about me, which is making me uncomfortable.
But you're an assistant professor or professor?
Assistant professor, then
but
in the
you
later
will
on
be
year,
a professor. I'll just continue. So he's a professor, and he has good knowledge of stocks. So we can, maybe if you want, we can go next with the stocks information and
about financial things.
Financial instruments. So
that'd be great actually.
Yeah, maybe we can go for the next video.
Absolutely. Just let us know, how did you like this conversation?
Yeah.
I think we are so far so good, and we will be making much longer podcast with much more interesting things.
Yeah.
Because this is just the first one, and I don't know how it's gonna go, but let's keep our fingers crossed. I'm already super hyped up with this one, and Breyon, my good friend here, very talented guy with the vlogs and everything. You should check out all his videos, and I think he's the when I saw his video, I actually gave him a call about how you should because it was a good video. If he would have made some, a rookie video, then probably he would have stopped by himself. But then we decided that we should have a podcast, and turns out we did it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, our Android and Apple family, it was great talking to you.
Thank you so much for coming into this video, and
it was my pleasure.
I appreciate it, man, for your time, and also he's going to start a new channel, so maybe
see you there.
Yeah, follow him on Instagram, because I'll put the Instagram in my description box, and also let us know in the comments, how did you like Deepanshu, and how did you like our
conversation,
podcast.
What should be improved?
Yeah, it was a never-ending debate. Because Apple
gonna go on forever.
It will go forever. And if you need something like this more, let us know.
Subscribe for more. If you like it, subscribe. If you don't really like it, thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. We're gonna love you anyways.
Yeah, thank you, and peace.
All right.
Good one.
Good shit.